Tibet must not die. 26th year of conferring Nobel Peace Prize to His Holiness the Dalai Lama, and since 1989, when the Nobel Prize was conferred to His Holiness, the Tibet issue had become an international issue. There had been international attention on the Tibet issue, on human rights, on the issue of, and especially the political issue of Tibet. Here in Bombay, this is one city that first rose against the Chinese occupation of Tibet in 1950, when the first war of independence happened in eastern part of Tibet. In 1950, people in Bombay came out into the street. There is a wonderful photograph of 1950 where people rode motorbikes in the Kalagoda area, and they said, "Chinese, hands off from Tibet." We know that the struggle must continue. The Tibetan people will not give up, but we believe that the independence of Tibet is the true desire for the long-term interest of India, and why Tibet must not die, why Tibet is in reality the extension or the continuation of the Indian culture, the Buddhist culture that is lost in India today, that is being continued and held so very strongly by the Tibetan people with absolute conviction. So therefore, today as we mark the 26th year of conferring Nobel Peace Prize to our leader, His Holiness the Dalai Lama, and also the World Human Rights Day, we once again commit ourselves to non-violent ways of working, and there are a number of our Indian supporters. I appeal to you to continue to be with us. It is not because it's a Tibetan cause, it's because it's a just cause, and this is one cause, an opportunity for the world, for the entire world, to once again win back people's conviction that non-violence is realistic, it is possible, and it is truly people's aspiration.
And we believe Tibet will be free.
Been said that the human rights should be respected everywhere, every corner, immaterial whether they are a citizen of a country or whether those nations are a part of the United Nations or not. And why we are particularly doing and celebrating, marking the Human Rights Day is because we, the Tibetans, those of us who are in exile, we are unable to go back to our own country, which is our most important desire in our life, but we are not able to go back to our own countries. And our people in Tibet, they are suffering under the Chinese occupation. There is a brutal military regime there. No one can protest, no one can express for freedom, no one can express their faith in worship for His Holiness the Dalai Lama. There is a complete clampdown. The judiciary and the media, both of them are run by the Chinese government. Even tourists, who are the last resort for any free spread of messages, even tourists are used by the Chinese government to invigilate on the Tibetan people. And such is the condition of our country today, because of which more than 143 Tibetans have burned themselves, and most of them are dead today. And this is in this situation today we are marking World Human Rights Day. It pains me deeply to say this, but this is the facts. And the Chinese government refuses to accept the reality. They just want to rule over our people brutally and with no concern whatsoever on the Tibetan people. They only want to take the natural resources out of Tibet, no matter what happens to the Tibetan people, no matter what the emotions of the Tibetan people. They only want to brutally rule over Tibet and take away their natural resources, which then feeds the international global trade. And therefore, I have been saying countries all around the world today are taking advantage of the Chinese military rule and the dictatorship in China, and therefore trade with China. And these global trade internationally, countries around the world are taking advantage of the dictatorship in Tibet and in China and making money out of this. And therefore, on the World Human Rights Day, I protest against these countries who trade and take advantage of people's suffering and make money out of this.
One